Hello, and welcome to my home. My name is Jackie, and I have a bag. I showed this bag on a live unboxing. I used this bag today, so it's my bag of the day. I love this bag. This bag hates me. Literally hates me. I cannot wear it. I would love to wear it. It just will not stay on my shoulders. I don't care how I hold it. It just wants to fall right off. So it's a Jackie shoulder issue, not a bag issue. But let me show you this bag. I'm going to do a clean with me. And I'm going to clean this bag up, and this is going to be gifted to one of my friends. She really loves a leather bag, 3 compartments, so this might be one of her gifts. I'm gonna probably give her 2 bags and let her pick which one she likes more. She tends to wear a bag, only one bag, and then because if you're only using one bag, it kind of gets destroyed. These are my key charm. So this is a brand. I got this from another um YouTuber. She's a purse curator. She does live sales. She's out of Florida. And she got this, I don't know how or where, but this bag brand is called Sigrid Olsen. So I'm pretty sure this is from the 90s based on what I could find on this bag. But this is a beautiful bag. I love the stitching on here. The only flaw, there's a couple flaws, but the real big flaw I could see was right here is like a little stain. So what I'm going to do, well, I'm going to zip up this center compartment. And I wanted this bag to work. This is such soft leather. This is such a great bag. So I'm going to use some saddle soap and I'm going to clean this bag up and I'm going to show you how this goes. So normally you can just put a little bit of water in here, but since I don't want to go over to the sink to get water, I'm just going to use some foam tex, which is a cleaner. And just get a little foam tex in there. And I'm going to get this brush, my trusty brush of horsehair, and I'm just going to get some lather going in here, grab some product on my brush, and that you could just, with a wet brush, do the same thing with saddle soap. This is just a cleaning solution with saddle soap. Saddle soap is a cleaning solution, so I want you to see what happens when I do this, so don't panic. But this is going to darken the leather. And if you're worried, they always recommend to use a test area. You can see how, because of the type of leather tanning this went through, I think this is a very minimally um, messed with leather. This is going to absorb the liquid that I am putting on it. So I'm just going to do some good. You want to work in sections. It is going to darken. It might even darken the leather a little bit, depending. So because of the interior, the way this is made, you can, if you wanted to, do some cleaning along the little bit of leather that's on the handles. Because this is where all the oils and all the stuff from your hands are going to go. It's better to work in small sections. So once that is pretty much where I want it to be, I'm just going to wipe off the excess really quickly because I don't want a lot of moisture to saturate into the leather. We want it to clean it and take it off the excess, and then you can kind of see what this looks like right now. So the saddle soap is a cleaner and conditioner, but it's not. I would never just use just saddle soap. Saddle soap to me is a cleaner, and then you put more conditioner on it. It just means there's some conditioning agents on here, and I want to do a little bit more because of that one little spot. I want to make sure I get a little bit more. And this is the experience talking, guys. This is like when you're looking at something and you're touching it and you're feeling it and you're working with it. Um, when's enough is enough. You're like, okay, let's do that. And then here we go. You still see it because that's a watermark. It's not really going to go anywhere. I just want to make sure I get a nice, good, even coat. And then I'm not going to worry about, you see how the darker handles? And that's just because of oils and how you carry a bag. So I'm going to put a little bit more foam tax in here and get a little bit. And I had already cleaned this beforehand with a little bit of a baby wipe. And when I first got it. So when you first get a bag, you can just run it through with a baby wipe, a scentless water wipe. I dropped something. Anyhow. So this is just going to be a quick clean, and I'm going to do this live time. I'm just going to sit here and do this and talk to you and chat with you. So today was a fun day at the office. Not really. It wasn't a very stressful day. I'm working on some training. I finished some defensive driving training and I got 100 on my test, which I was very happy about because it's defensive driving. I like to be a really good driver. So here we go. The handle, this one side of the handle's done. So I just go in a series and I'm just going to do the front facing now. I'm just going to grab, and it's a little bit different when you're doing a larger piece of real estate. You don't have to, it doesn't really have to get that wet, to be honest. Just enough to get the product on there and get it moved around. You want to do a circular motion. You can do a back and forth motion. Anything to get into the grain and make sure everything's getting um, covered. And I'm just going to do half at a time and then just wipe off to make sure I don't have any residue from the saddle soap. And you can see where it got a little bit more water penetration. It's getting a little darker. It's going to dry out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And anyway, it's a gift. Now it's a gift. Oh, it didn't start out as a gift. It was supposed to be my bag, but this is a beautiful bag. The leather's amazing. My sister even liked this bag. It's totally on trend for a bag that probably came around from the 90s. Do you see how I put a little bit more liquid there so it soaked in a little bit more? And that's just the application when I put a little bit of if you use a little bit more water with your soap versus more of a dry, and you're just gonna, let's, there we go. We'll see how this dries. Since I put a little bit more liquid on that side than on this side. And then we'll just go on this side. I'm gonna add a little bit more foam text to my soap because I want it to have a little bit more of a lather than I was having. Just lather it up a little bit more. And then here we go. So this will clean and soften the leather. As it states, this is made for saddles. Saddles get wet. They get in humidity. People ride on them. Horses wear them. So there's a lot of things to contend with. This is a little bit better of a lather than the other side. And I'm going to just wipe it off like I've done. I guess we're about 8 minutes in. You can see how that side looks, or panel, I should say. Let's do this last panel. And I have to do the handle still. So I'm not adding any more foam text. I'm just adding more saddle soap to the brush. And I'm just rubbing in this saddle soap. And the reason I'm like doing this instead of just going in with a pure foam text, the foam text is really good if I have, and this is a moist leather, so I could have just gone in with foam text, but because of the water, the amount of liquid in that, it tends to penetrate this type of hide a bit faster because of the way this is finished. So I didn't want it to get too saturated. I want it to be just a little less. And sorry, my phone's ringing. I had to hang up on whoever that was. So let's do the handle now. And it's pretty quick. This is just, as we're sitting here real time, 9 minutes. I'm talking to you and just doing this. It's not much different than what I would be doing if I wasn't talking to you. Normally, when I do stuff like this, I'd be listening to an audiobook or watching YouTube. I do that a lot. But people really like my clean with me videos. So I really wanted to do this and show you what you can do with an older bag. As I said, this is an older bag. So we have this down all. So this is the front. See how well that dried so quickly? Because it was not that much liquid on here. And even this side, as you saw how much was on here, it's already fading out. So let's do the bottom. So this is probably where the most of the, color. This is much darker than the sides because this has no feet and this has been used and it gets set down and people put things on all kinds. I use about a little bit of foam text with my saddle soap. So I'll be a lot more aggressive with the base, and I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with the theme because this is where you get a lot of contact. And it's going to bleed a little bit over to the side and do circular motions, back and forth motions, up and down motions, all the motions. So you want to get all throughout the grain. And you want to make sure you go everywhere. And then we're done. And then we just wipe off the excess. Don't take that part for granted. You really do want to do that. If this is a really dry piece of leather, I wouldn't do this. If it was really super dry, I would have conditioned it and then left it overnight. And then I would have cleaned it with the soap and then condition it again. So we're going to condition this. And I think I'm going to use a different conditioner than I had thought I was going to. Where did I put that? I have a couple conditioners and I was going to use something else, but I think I want to use, if I find it, because where did I put it, Jackie? I am looking on underneath my desk where I kind of grab and throw things a lot when I shouldn't. I have leather CPR somewhere, and I normally don't use that one very much, other than as a first part rescue. And I might not be using it now because I don't see it. I don't know where I put it. So it's not over there. We'll look over here because this is where I actually keep my other conditioners. So let's see what we can find in my. This is the classic Bic 4 from Bickmore. This is a classic, really easy to apply, gentle, very gentle. It has a kind of a cult following. It's a good moisturizer, but I find that I also, whenever I use it in a series of many products, right? So let's see. I have, I don't want that one. And this is just trial and error. I buy things, I try things. I've been doing this for a long time. Well, relatively speaking, a long time. And this is also part of the process of me doing this is me looking for containers. I've upgraded from a little tote to a big tote to an entire 3-drawer system. So I can't even show you everything I'm using in one space because there's so much of it. And then I still put it randomly around me. So when I'm using it, so I lose track. Okay. I think, ooh, maybe I'll use this one. No, let's not use that one. Here's one. This is a mink oil. I would normally use this after the Bic. So let's see, but I was trying to find my leather CPR. I have a huge jar of it, so it's not like it's missing because I can't. Oh, I could use this one. Let's use this one. This was one of my favorites, and I haven't used it in a while because I've been using leather CPR. But this literally is my tried and true favorite, used the most out of all of my, uh, out of everything actually. Let me move. Now that I've made a royal mess underneath my desk, let me see if I can show you what this looks like. So I'm going to use the rag because I need to throw this in the wash anyway. Now that it's been used enough that it needs to go be washed. I've used a heck of this, a lot. This is a 15-ounce container, and I'm down to here. This is how much I love this. This is Aussie leather conditioner by Feedings, and this is a let's see. Does it say what's in here? Especially designed to help leather withstand bitter cold and extreme hot climates. Again, it's meant for saddles and stuff. It contains a natural beeswax. I really like the beeswax. Perfect for those saddles, tack boots, gun cases, and handbags. So it's like anything that's made out of leather. And I really like this one in particular. And I normally apply it. Oh, let me show you. See that still has a discoloration because of the water, the spotting. So let's just, and I do this with I can do this with like this, or I can do it with a towel. You can do it however you want to, or a sponge. And then, but I really am to the get it everywhere. And this is one that's going to take a process. In other words, I'm going to put this on here and it's going to look wet because it's going to take some time to actually sink into this leather, and it's going to be glossy, as you can see. So and I'm going to let this sit overnight, 4 hours. And then the next morning, what I will do is I take a horsehair brush, a different horsehair brush, not that little one, but a big one. Well, actually, I'll wipe it down first if there's any excess. And then what you do is I take a horsehair brush and I buff it. Okay, so you wipe it off and then you buff it with a horsehair brush. Same thing people use for shoe shining, guys, same stuff. And this will give us a beautiful shine. And what this does with the lanolin or even like the mink oil is it's going to put a protectant layer on the pores on this leather, and it's going to make it a little bit easier to deal with the rain. So if this does get wet in the rain, it'll have a layer of protection, and if you just wipe it off real quick with like a baby wipe all evenly, it will be fine. And even if you don't, it should still be fine. Especially, and this is good for, I probably condition my bags pretty often. Like when I use them, I'll bring them out and say, okay. But honestly, if you leave this in a climate controlled area and it's a well polished bag the first time around, you can let it go for like 5 years, honestly. I'm a little bit more neurotic when it comes to leather care, so I'll do it more often every time I touch a bag. And that's just experience. When you start touching your bags, oh, that's dry, you know, and you're like, wait a minute, how can you tell? You know, most of the time people never polish and they never really put a moisturizer on their bag. So they don't really understand what a not just moist, but a well hydrated, I mean, moist is the wrong word. A well hydrated leather bag should feel like. A lot of times I get bags that have never been moisturized, they've never been cleaned. This was probably in that boat because it's probably from the 90s. And when people use it and it got a little bit stained, they're like, okay, I haven't used it in a while. I'm just going to get rid of it. And all it really needs is a little loving care, and it will bounce right back. And while this bag does not work for me because it hates my shoulders, it will work for somebody else. And I love this bag. I want this really to be loved by somebody, and I want to give it the best shot possible. So we're going to make this look pretty as she can. And we're giving her a spa day. I'm sitting here just moisturizing, putting in moisturizer. And that's why it's kind of important to figure out what type of moisturizer you like for your bags. This is my like favorite out of, but it doesn't work for every bag. It doesn't work for every type of leather. This will slightly darken with the leather just a hair, but I'm okay with that. So I wouldn't actually use this on like a natural vachetta, like right off the get-go, unless you wanted it to start to tan, you know, get a little bit less white. There's different products you can use for a vachetta where you want to keep it white. This is what you would use for something that you're like, okay, a nice layer. That's why you're really important about the evenness of the how you put it in there, making sure all the pores get enough, and making sure I run this over the tassel just to give it a little bit of moisture. And then see how it looks now? Now it looks even more wet than it did when it was actually wet. And that's just because of this conditioner. So this is going to hang out and literally put it to the side, and it's just going to sit there till tomorrow. And this was a almost 20-minute video, and that is real time what I do to bags with cleaning. And you could be a little bit more involved with the interior, but I'd already brushed out the interior before when I got the bag, so it was fine. It was clean. It didn't need cleaning. So sometimes I'll clean the interior with the foam tex. This is the foam tex I keep talking about. This is from Angelus. It's my favorite cleaner, upholstery cleaner, a no rinse cleaner. If it's really bad, you can just take Dawn soap, clean the interior, try not to get the leather wet if you can avoid it. The lining pulls out, and then just let it dry. The next day come through, start cleaning. Make sure you clean the interior or moisturize the interior leather trim. Most bags have a leather trim on the pockets and such inside the lining. So you don't want to forget that. And if you don't like, or let's say you don't have feedings, because both of these are feedings. This is a brand, Saddle Soap, and this is the Aussie Leather Care. I also have, it's a newer product to me. I've only used it a few times, and I could have used it today, but I forgot about it, let's be honest. With Horseman's One Step. So this is a cleaner and conditioner, but this will also darken your leather a little bit. So this one, again, with all these, if you're not secure, do a test in a place that doesn't matter and see how your leather affects it. And with me, because I'm always doing free love bags, I'm always doing something that is on the love side of loved, like super loved. I don't mind if my leather gets dark. I'm not sitting here with $3,000 bag. I'm sitting here with like a $20 bag and I'm having fun with it. And that's how I suggest you start cleaning your bags. Get one that if you have bags you were thinking about donating, before you donate them, practice on them. Get some cleaner, see how you like it, see if it makes a difference. Maybe you like that bag again. If not, you donated a polished bag. No biggie. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you for my members for being members. And for everybody else, I go live Mondays and Fridays, 6:30 Central Time in the evening. And I have videos posted daily at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Have a great day. Bye.